Another day, another new game in the Cricket World Cup 2019. Thank you so much for tuning in to ESPNcricinfo Match Day UK 2019. As Australia, defending champions, faltered a bit in their last game, while Sri Lanka haven't seen the field in their last two matches. It's Australia taking on Sri Lanka at the Oval, and joining me in studio to talk about it is Aussie legend Mike Hussey, and also joining us from Sri Lanka is Tillakaratne Dilshan. Gentlemen, good to have you with us on the show as always. And we'll start with all things Australia. Huss, first and foremost, your playing 11. A lot was spoken about the combination that was used in Australia's last game versus Pakistan. Are you changing, tinkering around a little bit?
I'm nervous about the fifth bowler, to be honest. Having someone like Maxwell and Aaron Finch share those last 10 overs, I think is a bit too much. So I'd be looking to strengthen up the bowling side of things, make sure there's 5 out-and-out bowlers, and then you can just get some help with Maxwell if need be. But so I'm looking to bring Adam Zampa back into the team. Playing at the Oval, that pitch can sometimes take a bit of turn. It's a bit hard to tell when you're not there to see the pitch, but I'd like to strengthen up that bowling, and that means that Shaun Marsh would make way. So it does weaken the batting slightly, but the reason why I'm happy to do that is because Coulter-Nile can bat, Cummins can bat, Stark can contribute with the bat as well. So there's enough contributors with the bat there. So just the one change for me, Zampa in for Shaun Marsh.
You spoke about the last 10, Huss, about how Australia's been bowling in the last 10. We'll show you a graphic now, and it doesn't make for easy viewing as far as Australia is concerned. Now let's talk about their batting first and foremost. Poorest batting average in their last 10. Australia run rate 7.53, wickets 15, average of 14.06, and Pakistan sort of clawed their way back in that game after the great start by Smith and Warner. Would you want to change something in approach? How would you go about it? Are they rushing into things, trying to go for the big one?
I thought they just tried to go a bit too hard too early in the last match against Pakistan. After a great start by Warner and Finch, we just lost our way and didn't finish the innings off as well as the Australian team would have liked. So it's been a bit of a problem area. I think the other reason why those stats are quite low is Australia's had a lot of problems against spin throughout the middle and later end overs. So I'm not too concerned by it. It just means that the top order needs to take the responsibility and then just need to play a little bit smarter towards the back end.
Also, let's talk about Pat Cummins now, because he's been one of their mainstays as far as this Aussie pace attack is concerned, and he's been having a pretty good 2019, and ODI is till 12th June. Pat Cummins, 10 matches, 26 wickets, average of 15.84. We've seen the way Aaron Finch sort of uses him, that is to bowl him out before the first 40 overs. Are you fine with the way he's using him, or would you want to keep him a few of his overs in the last 10 as well?
It's a good question. I think it depends on the situation in the game, but ideally speaking, yes, I wouldn't mind having him for an over or two right at the back end, because he's such a skillful bowler. He's got good pace. He's got this knack of picking up wickets, and at the back end, those wickets can be very, very handy. But the way Aaron Finch likes to use him, which you can't really argue with either, is that he likes to attack with the new ball, and then if he needs a wicket in those middle overs, he turns to Pat Cummins. He's an absolute star, Pat Cummins. He's had a great time of it in the last year or so, an integral part of that Australian lineup, and I would say he's as important, if not more important, than Mitchell Stark in that team.
Pat Cummins really coming good for Team Australia, defending champions, remember that. Dilshan, let's talk about Sri Lanka now, and that playing 11 that really hasn't taken to the field in their last 2 games. How do you replace Nuwan Pradeep in this one?
I think we have to go with definitely another extra batsman. I like to give you a comfort from the batting unit. I include one fast bowler, one batsman, include one batsman to Nuwan Pradeep. If I'm not sure which kind of wickets they are playing in Surrey, but Surrey always help for the bowling, batting, and spin as well. If a wicket is start look like turn, might be I'm including another spinner to Udana.
Also, Dilshan, we'll just show you a record of Sri Lanka's batting versus Australia. Now, their batting overall in ODI cricket in a while hasn't been that good. These numbers will tell you just how much they've struggled versus the Aussies. Angelo Matthews there, 19 innings, 503 runs, good average of close to about 30. Kushal Mendes averaging about 35. Everyone pretty much below 30 there. And so you reckon that someone like an Angelo Matthews really needs to put his hand up and be the experienced campaigner to steer that middle order through its troubles?
Definitely. We talked about earlier, so Angelo should take hands up and he's try to perform this match is experienced batsman we have in the middle order, and every batsman have now responsibility to bat this match. It's a really important match. Thing is, last 2 match we didn't play. We only carried 2 points last 2 match, but this match is important. Thing is, we want to go forward. We have to beat this big team like Australia. I think is everyone have to take hands up and do their job. That's the main target as a batting unit should try to. What happened past is forget, but the record was the average, everything they have to keep it side and thinking fresh to next day it's a fresh game against Australia. We have to come forward and play positive cricket against Aussie.
And finally, Dilshan, a word on Lasith Malinga. He's got some great numbers versus Australia, but he's pretty much a legend. So he's got great numbers pretty much against everyone. And versus David Warner, Aaron Finch. David Warner, he's got him out 4 times. Glenn Maxwell, he's got him out twice. You suppose his groove, because you saw that his groove was coming back in this World Cup, it would have been impacted a little bit with not taking the field in the last 2 games?
Yeah, but I met him yesterday. Lasith came to Sri Lanka some personal reason. He's in a very good positive mood, and his last few games, his last game especially, he backing his form. That's a really good sign for Sri Lanka. If he can, he's doing same thing what he done for last couple of years to Sri Lanka. If he can same thing he can deliver tomorrow against Aussie, I think it's a good thing for Sri Lanka. He's in good form. He's have a lot of confidence. I think he can do a damage in the new ball, and the last death overs he can use, captain use him. I think he's the main guy in Sri Lankan bowling attack. I think he can fire tomorrow against Aussie.
Right, Mike. Now that we made you aware of all the strengths that Sri Lanka possesses, what is your prediction, sir?
Well, I'm going to go for Australia, obviously. I actually feel for Sri Lanka. They've had their last 2 matches washed out. So they've found it difficult to get on the field, get some confidence up, get a bit of momentum going with their performances. So Australia have just come off a really tough couple of games, one against India, one against Pakistan. So they're match hardened and they'll be ready for this contest. Sri Lanka, it's going to be important that they start well. They need to hit the ground running, get off to a good start and try and get their momentum going as quickly as possible, which is not going to be easy considering you haven't played in your last 2 matches. But I look down their list and there's some high quality players in that team. If they can perform at their best, I feel like they can really push Australia. But I think Australia go in as favourites.
Right, Dilshan, so we tried hard, but Michael Hussey is backing Australia. Are you also backing Sri Lanka for this one then?
Yeah, definitely. The thing is, when you pass record, when you're playing in oval, we are doing really well in oval ground. I think that point of view, and Sri Lankan team should play positive, 100% positive against playing Aussie. We have to come positive, and from the first ball, we have to show attitude against Aussie and play their best cricket. If we can play Sri Lankan best cricket, Sri Lankan way, I think we can beat Aussie. I have a faith in my team. Definitely, I'm going with the Sri Lankan team.
Tillakaratne, Dilshan, Michael Hussey, guys, thank you so much for joining us as we're looking forward to Australia taking on Sri Lanka. Hopefully, if rain permits, we should be in for a good one. Goodbye.
Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and leave your comments in the comment section below. Click on the bell icon for notifications.